Namaste. Welcome to the series of talks on the Hastha Yoga. This is the third talk the speaker is presenting. In this talk, we shall continue the discussion on asana. In the previous talk, number two, the speaker has said how the asanas that are in practice throughout the world are not there in any Hastha yogic text. There is only one text, that is Garanda Samhita, which has identified 32 asanas, which are found to be very significant and important. And these asanas can be practiced every day. Not the, the advanced asanas that you see on the YouTube, and those asanas taught in several yogic schools are not found in any yogic text. Gerada has identified 32 asanas in his most famous treatise, Granda Samhita. These 32 asanas include Siddhasana, number one, number two, Padmasana, number three, Bhadrasana, number four, Muktasana, number five, Vajrasana, number six, Swastikasana, number seven, Simhasana, Gomukhasana, Virasana, Dhanurasana, Mrityasana, Guptasana, Matsyasana, Matsyendrasana, Gorakshasana, Pachimotasana, Utka, Utkatasana, Samkatasana, Mayurasana, Kukutasana, Kurmasana, Uttana Kurma Asana, Mandukasana, Uttana Mandukasana, Vrikshasana, Garudasana, Virasana, Salabhasana, Makarasana, Ustrasana, Bhujangasana, and Yogasana. These are the 32 asanas. Garenda has mentioned in his text, Garenda Samhita. These asanas, if they are practiced every day, are enough for maintaining fitness in our life, to maintain sound health, especially the body, the physical aspect of this organism. Now let's see how the asana is different from the other forms of physical exercises. Asana cannot be done um, like any other physical exercise. And why asanas are emphasized more with a series of instructions and cautions. In the other forms of physical exercise, the focus is only on the external part of human body. These forms of physical exercise do not activate the internal organs. They do not activate the tissues and cells. As we know that an average human body comprises 32 trillions of cells. 1 trillion is equivalent to 10,000 millions, which means 3,200 billions of cells. And these cells cannot be activated by the other forms of physical exercises like walking, running, and so on. They deal only with the external part of the human body. But to activate the internal parts, asana gains importance here. Asana activates the internal, it deals with the internal parts. It activates each cell as a particular asana is performed, and that particular asana is focused on a particular part of human body, and the cells in that particular part of the human body get activated. Each cell is opened, and the toxic elements in each cell is are removed. They are burnt through this performing asanas, and thereby the cell is completely purified with a fresh oxygen pumped into it, and the blood circulation increases. So the whole body gets rejuvenated, the whole body gets revitalized with fresh energy. And this is what happens when we perform asanas. So the whole body is purified in the sense the toxic elements that are there in the human cells are burnt and removed. And that is the power of asana. And this cannot happen in other forms of physical exercise. This is the fundamental difference that we need to note between asana and other forms of physical exercises. Therefore, the asana is given more importance, especially because the revitalization of the whole body is essential to lead the higher echelons of life, spiritual life. So, as we perform asanas, as the speaker has just now said, the focus is more on the, the various parts of the human body, and every part of the human body is activated. So the whole human organism regains its strength and energy, the freshness of life, and therefore no disease enters because the blood circulation increases in the body, the cells are cleansed, the toxic elements accumulated in the cells are burnt. Therefore, the whole system, the whole organism is purified. Therefore, no disease enters because the body gains more immunity. It gains more resistance power because of the freshness of energy that we gain after doing asanas. So this happens only when we do asanas, but this does not happen while doing other forms of physical exercises. So we need to note this particular difference between the forms of physical exercise that we all do in our day-to-day life and the asanas. Now let's come to the principles on which the asana works. Asana cannot be done as we do any other form of physical exercise. The speaker has already made it clear about it. So it is governed by 8 principles. What are these 8 principles on which asanas work? And we should keep these 8 principles in mind when we proceed to the asanas. The first principle on which the asana works is breathing. Breathing is very, very important in performing asana. When we should inhale, when we should exhale, what kind of breathing control is applied while releasing the asana? Should we um, uh, take the inhale while performing asanas? So, this breathing is very important while performing asanas. Mostly, in most asanas, the releasing of asana is done with the exhaling, but this inhaling and exhaling while performing asanas must be rhythmical. There should be a perfect synchronization between inhaling and exhaling. So, this you can gain from an experienced teacher, or master. But most yoga masters do not focus on this particular element. So, therefore, the asanas are performed with an irregular breathing, and the effect will not be there on the body as a result. So, if we want to have a good effect, a positive effect on our body, we need to notice this breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And so, therefore, how how we should do this asana while inhaling, while exhaling, cannot be learned from watching YouTubes, because in the YouTube, many channels on YouTube, yoga channels and YouTube, this particular aspect is not focused by many yoga masters who teach asanas. Therefore, we are performing asanas in our own way, and that will be very fatal to our body. So, the first principle that controls asana is breathing. For example, let's take a Padmasana, how it should be done. What kind of breathing principle works here? Now, before we perform the Padmasana, we sit and stretch the two legs parallel. Keep your body erect, look straight, and take 2 to 3 normal breathings. Now, while inhaling, take the right leg and keep the right foot at the left groin. That is the wedge shape, that the wedge shape between the the thigh bones and the 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 lower abdomen. So while inhaling, take the right foot and place it there, and now exhale. Now look at, and this has to be completed while inhaling, that taking the right foot and placing at the left groin, should be completed with the completion of inhaling. Not that while drawing the right foot in the middle you stop the inhaling, or you may complete the process of inhaling and again exhale and then take. No, the whole process of inhaling and taking the right foot and placing it at the left groin is should be completely synchronized. So the as we place the right foot at the left groin, the whole inhaling is completed. Now exhale. Here you can take one or two normal breathings, but professionals they immediately go for the next step. So in this position, after placing the right foot at the left groin, you can take two normal breathings, and then now while inhaling, take the left foot and place it at the right groin. And again, you should keep this point that the whole process of taking the left foot and placing it at the right groin must be completed with the completion of the inhaling. There shouldn't be any disturbance. There shouldn't be any kind of disorder between the two. So these two must be properly coordinated. Now, the the the, the this way you lock the two legs. Now the breathing becomes normal. Stretch your back straight, and the neck straight, and look straight. And this position, you can have a normal breathing. You can sit in this position for long. Hope that listeners have understood the point here. The speaker is driving the point how asana is controlled by breathing. So, in this demo, you have understood how the inhaling and exhaling are perfectly synchronized with the applying of asana. This we should keep. Whereas we do not follow this kind of principle of breathing when we perform other forms of physical exercise. There is no regularity of breathing there, when we are not conscious of that breathing while performing walking or running and so on. But here you need to be very conscious of your breathing, your inhaling and exhaling. If you are not conscious of your inhaling and exhaling, the whole asana is disturbed and you are not performing the asana in a right way. And it will not create any impact on your body. Therefore, the first principle that we need to keep in mind while performing asana is breathing, inhaling and exhaling. The speaker has just shown how the Padmasana has to be performed with the inhaling and exhaling, how the right foot should be taken and placed at the left groin and the left foot to be taken and placed at the right groin, and how these two actions should be synchronized by inhaling and exhaling. And this should be very rhythmical. And this rhythm you gain after series of practices. Only after practice makes one perfect. So you gain that kind of synchrony, a perfect rhythm between inhaling and exhaling. And in accordance with the inhaling and exhaling, we we apply the asana and release the asana. Now, how do we release the Padmasana? After sitting in that posture for long, say about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the releasing asana is very important. Again, here too, the breathing principle comes here. Now, you need to release the first left foot because the left foot is on the right foot. The left, the lower part of the left leg is on the lower part of the right leg. So first you need to release the left, the lower part of the left leg. How? While exhaling, you must release. While exhaling, you must release the left leg. Then inhale. And while exhaling, release the right leg. So the asana is complete. Look at in the beginning, while taking the right foot and placing it at the left groin, we have to follow the inhaling principle. Similarly, while taking the left foot and placing it at the right groin, you need to follow the same principle of inhaling. But while releasing, it is completely governed by the principle of exhaling. So, this inhaling and exhaling, you need to be conscious while doing asana. This this particular aspect is not emphasized in any other form of physical exercises. Nobody bothers about. Anybody can go and do walking. You can do how people who take walks gasp, have an irregular breathing. Similarly, while running, sometimes we breathe through the mouth, and this is not acceptable in asana. While performing asana, you need to note that the whole breathing must be done only through the nostrils. You should inhale through the nostrils and exhale through the nostrils. Not you should open your mouth and exhale or inhale through the opening of the mouth. That is not correct principle. If you do that, you watch the people who take a long walk or running. They breathe through the mouth. They say like that. That is not acceptable in asana. This is wrong. And this cannot be done in asana. It is prohibited. If you do it like this, you are not performing asana correctly. So, hope the listeners have understood this particular asana, Padmasana, how it should be done, and how it is governed by the principle of inhaling and exhaling. So, you need to keep this principle of breathing while performing asanas. Now, after releasing the asana, before we proceed to the next asana, you need to relax. Take a 3 or 4 normal breathing. And this is me. Now, this kind of uh, of inhaling and exhaling and relaxing must continue from asana to asana. Every asana ends with relaxation and then begins with inhaling and exhaling. Then, when the asana is released, then you go for a relaxation. So, between asanas, say from one asana to another asana, you need to have 3 or 4 breathings. And these 4 normal breathing. are known as relaxation. So you relax after performing one asana and then you proceed to another. So you see how important breathing is. So what happens here, the whole your mind is focused on performing the asana because any thought distracts the attention of performing the asana. It distracts the breathing control. But this does not happen in the other forms of physical exercise because the walkers and runners are not conscious of breathing. They are unconscious. They'll be walking, but their mind will be somewhere. They will be running, but their mind is somewhere. But here it is not like that because as we have just now learned that asana is controlled by the principle of breathing. So the whole focus is on the breathing. So the whole focus is on performing the asana. So the mind does not move here and there. It does not get distracted. And this way, the power of concentration increases in you. But whereas the element of concentration in other forms of physical exercise does not take place. So therefore, when you perform other forms of exercises like walking and running, we do not develop that power of concentration. But while performing asana, you develop the power of concentration. How? The speaker has just now shown how one asana, that performing the Padmasana. Likewise, every asana is to be done, focusing your attention on what you are doing, on your breathing, inhaling, exhaling. So thoughts will not come, thoughts will not enter, thoughts will not disturb you. Oh, it is a one pointed concentration, and you develop that. When you perform the asanas, the same asana can be the Padmasana can be done the other way. We have just now learned that how first the right foot is taken and placed at the left groin and then left foot at the right groin. Alternately, you can do this. Release the asana and then take the left foot and place it on at the right groin and then take the right foot and place it on the left groin. Now, this alternate way of performing the Padmasana will equanimize the whole body because you cannot perform the asana only in one particular way because every asana has a counter asana. But when you do Padmasana with the right foot first, alternately, you should do with the left foot. This will balance your body. This will check the abnormal growth in your body, any imbalance in your body, any distortion in your body. So, this brings equilibrium in the growth and development of your body. It's not that when you perform the Padmasana only with the right foot, you develop an imbalanced body. So, for this reason, the speaker is saying that every asana has a counter asana. So you cannot be satisfied with performing the posture with only one part, with only one side. So you need to do it alternately with the other part of the body. So this will check the imbalances in your body. So if you do the Padmasana with the right foot first, Remain there for 5 minutes, then move to the next step where you take the left foot and perform the Padmasana. So this balancing is very important. But keep this principle of breathing very, very important. Thank you very much for listening. We will meet in our next talk. Thank you. Namaste.